Hey everyone, Chicago Cindy Buddy. I just wanted to put a quick video up on the garden update. My mom and dad were actually here in my neighborhood yesterday, and my mom didn't get a chance to sneak in my backyard and see what the garden looked like. So I just want to give her a quick view and give everybody else a quick view. The corn is as tall as me. I'm 5'5", and everything is coming along great. I have silks on all my corn. Big Buddy has four actual ears of corn that he's growing on him. So I'll just show you a couple things real quick. So in the front here, I've got some peas, I've got some bush beans. My Brussels sprouts are doing really well. I took out, actually my husband took out a perennial bush and an evergreen shrub, and I've got more lettuce planted in here, jalapeno peppers coming up, and some spinach. And then over here I've got all of my strawberries are doing really well. My strawberry plants have little runner shoots, so off these two main strawberry plants I have about 4 or 5 little runner baby shoots of actual strawberry plants growing. And my corn, you know, like I said, all this corn, it's funny, I don't have kids, but when I got these corn silks that were starting to pop out, I was so excited about the silks. And I guess they say your firstborn is always like your most cherished child, and I was so excited when my first corn plant got the silks in the ears, and the excitement hasn't gone, but it's not as exciting as when it was on that first plant. So the corn is doing well. I have some beautiful knockout roses in here, and the roses are just thriving in the garden too. I built a nice little cucumber trellis, which I'll show you in a minute. So a funny story about when I built this cucumber trellis, I showed it to my mom, and she looked at it and she said, well, you know, Cindy, that's only 4.5 feet tall. Cucumbers are going to grow to be taller than that. You're going to have to extend your trellis. So she was right, so I extended my trellis, and as you can see, the cucumbers, they're doing really well. I've got a lot of flowers on them, and they're up and they're being supported off of the ground, and I've got a lot of cucumbers forming on there. So yep, once again, Mom was right. Thanks, Mom. So these cucumbers have a lot of flowers on them. They have a lot of little cucumbers that are starting to form. They're not that large yet, but they're in there, and they are developing, and the cucumbers are up off the ground. She was telling me there were some migrant workers she had seen on TV, and they had cucumbers growing all over the ground in the field, and you know, I'm sure they're going to be subject to rot if they're on the ground. So I think that will work out well. So here's my corn plants, and with these corn plants over here, I planted with them some bush beans. And the bush beans are doing really well. The bush bean plants are actually producing some little beans, which I'm about to harvest in about a week. They'll be ready in about a week. So they say to plant the corn and the beans together because the corn robs the soil of the nitrogen, and the beans put the nitrogen back into the soil. So I'm kind of anxious to see if it makes any difference to have these corn plants planted with the beans or not. So that was actually a cool idea that another gardener on YouTube gave me when I originally planted these. And all of these corns have silks developing in there. So I don't get a lot of wind in my backyard, so I'm just shaking the tassels at the top of these plants every day to ensure that they get the pollination required on the silks. Ironhead 41 said I didn't need to do that, and I'm trusting him, and I'm also conducting a little experiment. Some I'm leaving alone and others I'm messing with. So I trust Ironhead 41, and we will see what happens with these. Here are my Brussels sprouts. I started all these little guys from seed inside, and one thing I love about these is that the leaves are actually as big as my hand. I mean, this plant here is just, it's huge. It's just enormous. Okay, and here's the back view of the trellis, the cucumber trellis that, you know, once again I've extended to 6 feet tall. It'll be kind of interesting to see if it grows that tall, but I'm telling you, it grows. Every time I come out here, it's another inch, I swear. And my husband laughs at me and he says, is there any major change from the last time you went out there? And it is. If you look at these corn silks, for example, these corn silks, I will come out here and have literally no corn silks showing, and then a few hours later they'll be all popped out, and the next day they'll be all big and bushy. It's an amazing experience to watch these things grow. And I used to make fun of my mom because she would garden all the time and she would use gardening as therapy, and I will never laugh or make fun of anybody for gardening again, because it is the most peaceful, tranquil thing that has been a big stress reducer for me this year. You know, it takes my mind off of just things going on in my life, and my job, and just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so there's my cucumbers, and like I said, I have a lot of little flowers back here, and my tomatoes are, like I said, I'm 5'5". These tomatoes have got to be 5 feet tall. They're all over the place. I put grass clippings in there. I fertilize all of my stuff. So coffee grounds, I'll give, you know, certain plants that are nitrogen, that feed on nitrogen, like my Brussels sprouts, I'll give them coffee grounds and grass clippings all the time. But these have wonderful tomatoes that are popping up all over the place. I have different varieties, oh, here's one that's turning red, actually. There's one in there that's turning. So yeah, so that's the tomatoes too. So that's all I wanted to show you guys today. That is my quick garden update for today. It is going to be about 98 degrees here in the suburbs of Chicago today. It was 103 or 102 when I got into my car yesterday after work. So we're trying to stay hydrated, and for anybody who is thinking about gardening or new to gardening, this is a very small space that I have in my backyard, and I'm a newbie gardener. You know, like I said, this is my first year for corn and peas and beans and cucumbers. So all of this can be done in a very small, limited space, and I'm glad I did it. I just started some from seed in the house and started most from seed outside in the garden, and it's just a matter of compost and cow manure and garden soil, putting seeds in the ground and making sure everything is adequately watered. Things that I have learned for next year: don't plant things on the outer perimeter of your garden if you have a male unneutered dog who likes to lift his leg up and pee on things. So we've been diligent, and we've had plastic along the outer edges of the fences, and we've been training our dogs to stay away. But it's been a great experience. We have a lot of bees here, a lot of butterflies here. Took some bushes out, and we're going to take another bush out next year. But the corn is great. I mean, everything is just thriving, and it's been a great experience. And I want to thank all my YouTube friends for all your comments and suggestions and your help and your tips along the way. I've made a lot of really good friends, and it's been a great experience for me. So there's the garden. I would encourage anybody to do this. It's very rewarding, and it's great to have food that you can take from the garden, and it's just healthy. It's really a great overall experience. Enjoy. Thanks for watching, you guys. Chicago Cindy Buddy signing out.